Hi, everybody. Ronelle from Ronelle Lancer Manifestation Coaching and also Quantum U Academy. And today I'm really, really excited to introduce, some of you actually know Madelein, but to introduce Madelein for those who don't know her. And we're going to be chatting about what is happening in her life. Good day, Madelein. How are you? If you want to just introduce
Hello,
yourself for those who
Ronelle.
don't know
Honored to
you.
be here. Honored to be here, girl. Always a blessing to chat to you. Not like we're not chatting every day, but yeah, now we're doing it on a camera.
Yeah, it's so nice. And for those who don't really know you, share a little bit why you're here today, or where you live, where you come from, how it is that you are connected to me, just in a short.
Okay, so for those who don't know, I met Ronelle actually on a group of Vanul. I think he was advertising and said there's a ladies group for broken ladies, that someone started, and if you want to connect with them, that's also not that I was broken, but I wanted to be part of this group, to give input and to be also of value. And then South African time was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got on this call, and it's like I hear them speaking about engaging, and I don't know what all kind different of languages. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I think I'm on the wrong call here because I don't understand what they really are talking about. So they said, no, I am on the right call, and then they started praying and they started practicing seeing, or actually not practicing, they were seeing things in the spirit. They would see visions, they would share what God is showing them, and then they would ask me, what are you seeing, Madelein? I'm like, I see nothing. And they're like, no, you see. I see nothing. Because I have always seen dreams, had visions, sometimes more, sometimes less, but I've never seen on like with a button, I decide now I'm going to see. I always waited for God to give me a dream or a vision. I never knew you could just close your eyes and see. So that was where my journey started. Very exciting journey. And it's like almost 4 years. I think now it's going 4 years for me and Ronelle. We prayed every morning, 3 o'clock. And in the end, it was just me and her that was left in the group. And God teach us many things. He taught us quantum, he taught us frequency. We met our angels, all these awesome things. So I think that's where everything was like, it was always in me. I always had these desires. I always had this encounters and dreams and stuff, but yeah, I was caught in the traditional religious system, and there was never room for me to explore it or to grow in it because those people didn't know it, they didn't believe it. I think it's just a lack of knowledge. That's all that there was. So they didn't understand that part of me. So I never quite fitted in. And suddenly I always thought that I was weird until I met these ladies. So then I thought, no, I'm not weird. They are weird. Yeah. So I finally found the place where there was people with the same things, same experiences, and I could finally click with someone. And when I started breathing and just relaxing, I knew I was seeing, but like I had to relax first before I could see.
Yeah, not try so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you come from South Africa. I'm South African, but living in Germany. But what you just said about you needed community where you can actually have a safe place to speak about the things that you see and not feel weird or not feel not accepted, because then one can really grow. And you've shared so many things with me. I mean, it's just amazing how God leads you, especially with open visions, like really dimensional visions, where the most amazing things, it's like watching a movie like Interceptor or Interstellar, and what we are all also seeing in a different way, you actually experience. So before we go into what you were shown, what your purpose is on this earth, share maybe something that will benefit the viewers, like to just show how real the dimensional world is. share something of your experiences in the night, and not too long, but something that can show, listen, what you think is real is not really the ultimate.
Okay. Yeah, so what this is all about is I think the heart of my heart is in Renel's heart as well. And actually, I believe we all have the same heart with this, is that we want people that don't experience the stuff also to experience it, to have that deep encounters and intimacy with Christ, or how you want to call it, the divine being within the I am, because that's where he is and he's in us. Yeah, so what I heard, I always follow Justin Abram. Hello, Justin, if you ever see this video, we're talking about you. Yeah, so Justin is a very big part of my journey for, like, I don't want to exaggerate, but maybe 20 years that I've listened to his podcasts and stuff. And when I would listen to his podcast, I would get this awesome dreams. Like, the one particular one that comes to mind was I was on this mountain and I had this blanket, like a picnic blanket, and it was raining gemstones and stuff all over me, and I was just picking up. So that was one of the first things that I can now remember quickly. So I always heard Justin speak of all these things, and then I would nag God. I'm a nagger. So I would go to God and I would say, Father, why is Justin having this? Not me. I also want it. And I want to say it's for everyone. It's not for certain people alone. It's for everyone. And I kept asking God questions. I kept asking. And then I stumbled upon a few teachings of John Paul Jackson about angels. And he spoke about his angels like he knows them. And I'm like, I want to know mine too. Come on. So I started saying, come on, God, I want to know my angels. I want to see them. I want to know them. And every night when I'm in the bed, I'm like nagging, like a child, because he's my father and children nag their parents. And God understands me. So that was a real desire of my heart. The first angel encounter I had that was like with my eyes open was a shocker, but I knew that was what I was nagging for. So the one night I just woke up in the middle of the night aware of such a presence in my room. And when I looked at the end of my bed, there was an angel standing, but he was a total fireball. I couldn't see his face, but I could see his wings, and they were fire, and everything about him was just fire, but he was huge. And I saw on his chest was like a number plate that you get on your car, and it said Chico. Now, you might think that that's really ridiculous, but I've heard a teaching then before that if you go look up that in Hebrew, you will find his name, because his name normally means what his function is in your life. And I know shekel is to bring in the harvest. So that was like awesome to me to see that. And but then I was like, I'm just looking at him and he's just looking at me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any knowledge. I didn't know. Afterwards, I only heard people say, you should ask him, what's your name? Why are you here? You should speak to him. But yeah, so that was my first one. That I don't know if that is something that you wanted to hear it out.
I love that. And if you're allowed to share some of your experiences with your eyes open and maybe the wall disappearing, like you entering into a different dimension, just to show us, because I want to bring this into what, this is the quantum field. What are we living in? Who are we? So to demystify what it actually is. Do you understand? Because some people, they will listen to you and they go, oh, you are just so holy. You are, of course.
No.
You allowed to get these things because you are an, elevated, chosen one. And I would like to bring back, before we go on to you sharing about what type of dreams you got when you started hearing about what your purpose is, just backtrack. So when this happens, explain a little bit, or we can do it together. What is this field where you started seeing things? Okay, so your desire awoken and you wanted more. So share just this one, because it's exactly like the stuff we watch in movies. So that's why I would like you to just tell a story.
I was just going through my mind, what should I share? Yeah, but it's no special anointing. We are all chosen. We all can see in the spirit, we just don't know it. We were taught that it's evil to see in the spirit, to see in other dimensions. So no one wants and desires it because they thought it was evil. We have all these teachings that's telling us even the elect will be misled. So that's that fear of going into unknown territories, and God wants to break that off of us, because all of us, there is so much more than we can think or dream or imagine around us and in us. And if we don't let go of the fear, you're not going to experience this. So this morning, if you find that you have still fear, this is the first thing to get rid of. It's not that I pray hours, not at all. There was times in my life that I was very religious. I prayed so many hours. I prayed in tongues. I tried harder, more. But it was never that qualified me to have any of these. Some days I don't even pray in tongues. Some days I don't even read my Bible. Some of you might stumble over that. And I still dream, and I still see visions, and I still have this beautiful relationship with Christ, because it's not about my works, but what he has done, the finished work that he has done before the foundation of the earth. That is what qualifies me, not because I'm so good or so any special about me. I've made many mistakes in my life. I have many regrets. I've hurt many people. I thought I was better than other people. I was that religious one telling people, don't do that, you should. And yeah, I come from a journey of religion, so I can identify with all people. I can see where they come from, and I feel such compassion for them. And Renelle as well, I know, because we want you out of that. We want you into endless possibilities, limitless things. Oh my goodness. So what else did you want me to tell? Oh, you wanted
I was
me
asking you to share about like some. It's okay. I think
things where I was wide awake one morning. I'll share this one with you. One morning about 2 years back, I was lying in bed. It was here by 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And my curtains were open and my windows were open, because I just love the bird songs, early in the morning. And I was laying in bed, and suddenly I saw a man walking past my window. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how did this guy come into my yard? We have the security place where we stay. You can't come into the gate without me opening it. So, that was really weird. But I'm still thinking, why did this guy, what is he doing in my yard? And then he goes past again. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's really weird. I don't understand this now. What is he doing here? He looked like a normal person, had a black t-shirt and jeans on, and he walked to our backyard. And I was thinking, is he here to look at our pump, because we've got a water pump for the tank when there's no water. And then he comes back again, and I'm like, really? I don't know what the guy is wanting in our yard, but I'm like, my windows are open, my curtains are open. What if he looks in? But he never looked in. And then the next moment he comes into the yard, and he's carrying this huge swings, children's swings. And there's like 3 swings on it, but it's huge. And I'm like, okay, so where is he going to put that? Because we actually have a very small yard, and he puts them right in front of my window. Now, if you see my yard, there is no way that swings could fit there. No, not possible. But at that stage, you could see that swings fit there perfectly. And he walks out again. And I'm going like, where did Johan buy the swings? Did he buy it maybe for our grandchild? Because we had a little grandboy, the first one that time. So, no, then it's many more years back, not 2 years. Okay, because he's already 5.
And it was in the morning because your husband had gone to work, hey? It was like,
yeah, he was gone. I'm all alone at home.
That's what was so weird. Yeah.
So you want to start feeling scared, because you're like, you don't know what this weird guy is doing. So he left, and the next moment, I'm still thinking about the swings, like going, the swings. What is the swings now? Maybe that was it. But I'm trying to figure it out in the natural. I'm not realizing that this is actually supernatural. So the next moment, while I'm still thinking about the swings, I hear my front door going open, but it's going so, wah, like open, like with a bang. And I jump out of my bed and I'm going like, what the heck is going on in my house today? I come into my passage and there's a lady in my passage and she's broken down and crying like, but I know her. And she's crying and crying and crying. And I'm like, I'm shocked. I can't believe what I'm seeing, because actually me and her wasn't on speaking terms at that stage. Yeah, we've got some history, right? So I'm seeing her crying and I'm like, okay. And the next moment she's gone. And I'm going to the lounge to see why the door flew open now, what happened. And when I get into the lounge, my pillows on my couches were fallen over. And there was this white powdery hand marks on it, like someone touched my pillows. And I'm like, who did that? Because I have the ladies meeting this morning. And now this is now dirty, you know. I took a cloth, I wiped it off because I'm feeling rattled. I don't know what the heck is going on in my house. I'm wide awake. I'm walking around everything. I'm wiping off this dust. And when I look back, the hand is back. It's again there. And I'm like, And then I look to the side of the couch and there is another handprint there, but a huge hand. And when I looked closer and I blew on it, it was like silvery, powdery dust. And I'm still like, what the heck? This is just amazing. So I'm still trying in my mind, going, maybe it was Johan that touched it, you know, from the garage, some dust or something. But in my mind, I knew that that was not normal dust, because that's not the kind of dust that comes from your garage. That's dirty, right? And the next moment, my doorbell rings and the lady comes and she said, can I come do my vision boards? We were doing vision boards in the ladies' meeting that time. Can I come do my vision boards here? And I said, Kathy, come on. You can't come now. Why are you so early? The house is still not, like, I'm still rattled. I'm like, she says, I will just sit quietly there. I won't bother you, I promise. And I let her come in and I show her the handprints. We actually took photos. So I went back to my room to get dressed. And the swings are gone. And that's when I realized, listen, this was no ordinary thing that happened to me, because no human being could carry those huge swings into my yard. It was like iron swings, you know, children iron swings and huge. So no human being could have carried them in. And I think a few years later, I met that same angel in a dream. And he told me his name is Siamika. And in my dream, I said to him, go fetch me some food. And he went there, he got me some food. So I believe he's part of my life. That was like a really awesome encounter.
Yeah. And I know you've had many. So I love that you said, because I want people to just understand it's not just about closed eyes, it's also about open eyes. And your desire awoke all of this. You keep on setting your focus on wanting more. And I find that's really good. And what we call as, you know, this dimensional field, the quantum field, when we study quantum and you go into quantum physics more, we realize we are made up of atoms, we are moving energy. Okay, and this realm of possibilities is where we have different frequencies, and material, as Einstein said, matter is a lower form of energy. So although we think these things are real and we can touch them, they're actually also moving. But the parts where you see is in a realm that is moving on a very high frequency. So your desire unlocked the fact that you could actually visualize it. So for everybody out there, I mean, just lock your desire in, and not that you become, you know, it's not about you doing anything, like Madelein said before, but it's relaxing in the fact that you were born to see all of it, that you are made of love, because God is love and love is the highest frequency. And when you move in love, these things open you just become aware of them. Now, of course, we're going to be doing a lot more of that in Quantum Academy, the school, and going to a lot of different ways, because we also want you to find your way of doing things. Like if Madelein did it a certain way, it's for you to find out what your place is and what
there's no method.
Yeah, there's no one fits all. It's unique. It's not individual, but it's unique. And now I want to just go into your purpose. God started speaking to you about your purpose on this earth, and he started giving you visions. I love that. very clear visions, that is very non-religious. And I would love to speak about your first vision regarding meditation, because of course we knew about meditation, but the way God showed you is so religious that you had to check. But I love that you asked him, and this is really good. So share a little bit how that came about.
So this is my journey. Before I tell you about the first vision, we're like 3 years back, I think we went to another pastor's conference. She felt that we need to come light the fires there. And you know, we are all for fire. We love fire. God's speaking through fire my whole life. You'll see we have a Facebook page. We call ourselves Living Torches. We're just all about fire. And while we're on this course, doing this thing with them, I dream a dream, and I have a report card in my dream. And in the dream, I see I have 6 subjects, and I hear myself say, I see I've got extinctions, or what distinctions? What do you call it, Runel, in English? Extinctions.
It's a distinction.
Distinction. I don't know, but it's the 90s. I got in like 90% for my subjects, right? So I'm like, I look at this report card, never in the natural that I get that marks, because I was only studying for your mom. You know, when you're in school, you don't really care about good marks. I knew I was never going to go to university, so I had no motivation to really study. And I see in this dream, oh my, I've got this wonderful marks, and I'm like, how awesome is it that I can finally study things I love? And the only subject I can remember on that thing was quantum physics, and I've never heard about quantum physics, never. But when I started after that looking into quantum physics, I started watching small 8-minute videos. I saw everything that I was already experiencing in the spirit. That is exactly what quantum physics are. So God was just showing us that quantum physics is actually proving the Bible. Exactly. The Bible is quantum physics book. If you really study it, you will see everything in it. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I was on this journey from forever. I'm like,
by the way, it's distinction. By the way, it's distinction. I just love
distinction.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, awesome. So I learned something today. I'm like really on a journey of learning. But even when I listen to whoever is this famous preacher or teacher, I acknowledge them all. I honor them all, and I know we can learn from everyone. We can learn even from a donkey, because Jesus used a donkey. But I go and check out everything for myself. So I don't just swallow what people teach me. I go check it out for myself, because that's how stuff becomes a revelation, right? Mm-hmm. And then when I started dreaming, this is what Runel wants me to tell you. I started dreaming and having visions. I would wake up in the night and I would see myself sitting in a meditation position like the Hindu people. Exactly, like with the fingers and everything. And I get so shocked, because at that stage, we just came from a conference that Justin Abram again did about the Garden of Spices. It was just an amazing conference. And we went into the China shops and we just bought all these fragrances and the burners and the, I don't know what you call those stickies that you also mirror, or what is it? What one of those things was what Jesus present was, you light them and they just give off this beautiful fragrances. Yeah. And we had all these things, loads of them. We just went crazy buying them, so that now we can burn them when we have soaking sessions. You know, it's just like an awesome thing. And suddenly when I started dreaming these things, I went like, I'm listening to all this frequency music. When I soak, I just listen to frequency music, because words distract me. So I can't focus on God when I try and focus on words, because then people sing words like, oh, come, Lord, come, or something. And I don't think God's outside of me, he's inside of me. So I keep on trying to get my mind to focus on, oh, but he's in me. So that distracted me. So I just stick for many years just with this frequency music. But when I started having these visions about the meditations, I seriously got, I got up the next morning, I deleted almost all my frequency music, because there was some religion still in me that thought that there must be some bad vibe somewhere between my music that's causing me to have this weird sitting positions in my visions, meditating. So I deleted almost everything. And the next couple of nights, I kept on having the same vision, just a little bit different every time, but I was still sitting in that same position, wide awake. I get this visions where I'm sitting and meditating. And like I would say to God, okay, God, now, I don't want to go outside of what you are. I don't want to go in the wrong directions. I don't want to do something, that like being like going on the wrong paths or that how I've changed since then. But anyway, so I said to God, so God, what is this? What is this? Because I can't have dreams from stuff, and this is you. And the last vision I had about the meditations that finally just showed me that was what God wanted me to do. Was I was sitting in this position again, and in a natural, I can't bend my legs like that. It's not comfortable. It's kind of sore, but in my vision, I did it perfectly. So I was sitting like this, and a huge angel appeared around me with huge wings. And he was just like this around me while I was meditating. And God said to me, do you think I can't protect you? Do you think there's one place where you can go that where I can't protect you? Yeah, and he showed me that that's what he wants for my life. And Justin Abram always says that no matter how you can go off and you feel you're on the wrong path, God will always bring you back to your path, what you're supposed to walk. And that's a very comforting thought to me. So it doesn't matter. You might get sidetracked and there is no evil anymore. I don't see evil anywhere. So I'm not scared anymore. God rid me of that fear, which is amazing.
Yeah, because if we're living in the tree of life, then we eat from those fruits. But also, I would love you, like, then you started going into, then you knew, okay, this is it. And my purpose is also to bring meditation to people, for them to experience freedom. And I remember, if I'm allowed to speak about this, you were taken to heaven, dimensionally heaven, in a different place, and you ended up in a class where you were teaching levitation. Now, this is also, I love to speak about this because this goes hand in hand with meditation and bringing people out of their limited way that things are just done in a certain way, and share what happened in that. Was it a dream or it was a vision? It doesn't really matter.
You remember my things
we don't know.
Sometimes. She remembers my stuff so good. Sometimes I don't remember them so well, but I did write them all down. So if I go back in my journals, I write down everything that God gives me and I paint them. I love painting. So in my limited way, what painting is still in my mind, limited, I do put that on canvas. But this was, I think that was just, if I remember, while I was in this house or somewhere where I was teaching the people, and I would show them, look what I can do. And I would just go out. And who was the first ones that actually got it right after me was the children. My goodness, the children just jumped and went for it. They just so open-minded. So that reminds me of God saying we should be like a child. Yeah, I was teaching people then. I had many dreams like that. People like would say levitation is from whatever, but it's from God.
Absolutely.
Everything is from God. He made everything.
Yes. And how, the monks from ages ago, they were so aware of the frequency and the love of God. They used to remember that recorded that they built, there was nobody to help them to build, but they would pick up bricks and they would just levitate and put it on top of the highest part of the mosque or monastery they were building. So it's not some things that we were talking about that hasn't actually happened on this,
all recorded.
Earth. It's just, what I think, people got so busy and just kind of, we're getting back to that now where everybody awakens once again. And this is why our purpose is basically everything to do with assisting and to awaken everybody we speak to and teach.
You see, fear keep us in bondage. Total bondage, fear, because you don't want to do it. But I was always interested in the supernatural stuff. I read a book of John Crowder where there's many things in that book that I can keep you busy for a very long time, but one of them is what Ronelle was saying about now. There was a monk that could actually levitate so high, and they needed a cross on the top of their church.
That
And
was
he
it.
levitated, yeah, with a cross that was, I don't know how many tons, I think 2 tons or something heavy. And he lifted it up and put it on top of the church. Now, come on, guys, that's just amazing. That's not normal.
If you
And
look
we
into
are
the
not
history,
normal.
in the history, yeah, because supernatural actually natural. And if you look in the
Yeah.
history of the earth, a lot of people have come up and shown where big structures have been built that has been so precise that it could not have been done without our thinking, is without our technology, but it's proven that it had to come from somewhere else. It was not possible in those days. And it's so exciting, you know. And I want to just go back to when you were speaking about being as a child. We've both had dreams, and when God speaks to about dream, a lot of them have been when we are children. We are, because he wants us to be childlike but not childish. There's a huge difference, because a child, I think we were speaking about this now. What is a child like? He doesn't
Yesterday.
question, trust, go back to that place of seeing the good in every single person, and go back to trusting that you know, and seeing greatness in people. So to get back to meditation, so now you know very clearly you've started, I know now for a while already, setting up a course. And what I love about your course that you are busy doing and recording, etc., is the different, there's not just meditation, we go there are so many different aspects of meditation that I love that you're going to bring to the people. And so share a little bit, like tidbits about, you know, like painting as meditation. What does that do? What happens when you, one lady was telling me that one lady that I'm coaching, she met a friend, this lady, and she's become quite healthy by painting and letting her feelings go by painting and letting it flow out of her. So just share a
That's
little bit
exactly,
about what
yeah.
your course is going to entail.
Yeah, so God also always your thing that you're passionate about, that you really love, that's where God's going to use you. I really love painting. I even love singing. I love that people experience the love of God. So this is the combination of my whole thing. I want people to really experience love, like the scripture says, practically through experience for themselves. I want them to experience where God can do far over and above what they ever dream or imagine. And I want to help you to get to that place to let go and let God. And where you're in that place where you're so one with him, that there is no more you that be seen, but only him. And that your light is the light that draws people to you. And you are like visible Christ to people everywhere you go. I don't know if we're allowed to speak so much about Christ in this one, but yeah. I know.
For people
The
who
course,
don't,
I'm not gonna, in the course, I won't say that much Christ or these things, because we want everyone to come. We want every person from every religion to come and experience love.
yes,
Because ultimately God is love, and they will meet him through the sessions. So I will do, there's a few things that I'm working on. Some of them is just different kinds of meditations, how you will meditate. It started with soaking in our house for years now, and we have all these beautiful encounters with angels and you know how God's presence is just filling the place. But so that's one of the things. The other one is I'm going to help you by teaching you to paint, just flowing with the spirit, painting, and then you're going to just release all emotions, tent up hurts and stuff, and you'll see the end result. You'll be so healed. You'll feel that divine health actually flowing through you. The other one that Ronelle doesn't know yet about, I am keeping some secrets, is that I'm also going to do some sound bathing. I'm very interested in that from forever. The frequency, I love frequency. I just know that there was a word given to me the other day, actually twice now, the last couple of months, that God's going to use me in frequency. So I have to put that with my things.
What
So
exactly
it's
is
not,
it you were saying? What is it? Sound bath.
sound baths. When you listen to people, you have to buy their music to do meditations.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, God, okay, so now I have to find someone. I have to buy their music, because you can't just do their music online or something without getting into trouble. And that's just a way of honoring them anyway. So I was thinking I've wanted to buy myself this drum where you hit the different notes so long. And I got this friend on Facebook who's doing all this crystal things and the plants are singing. And I just know that is just such a connection with that in my spirit with it. So I actually started something like that as well. In my mind, or seeing myself doing it already. So that will be part of my meditations, my own frequency created, my own sounds created with the meditations that will be God inspired, that will absolutely heal. From the home, I will see I see myself doing it, having sessions with people just coming in and getting their healing through that. God is also speaking to me about crystals and all these things, and I'm also into that as well. So if you really want to think I'm from the devil, now's a good time to start thinking that. If you still believe in devils, but God gave everything to us to help us to enjoy, to experience. The whole creation is waiting for us. It's alive and it wants to interact with us. They have frequency, and those frequency, every fruit has a frequency, every tree, every plant, everything has frequency and sound and vibration, and we know it. And God wants us to use that.
Absolutely.
To help us. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but remember, He's the healer. Of course, He's the healer, but He's in me. And He's using me. So I can use anything in creation to bring healing to people. There's no method.
We get to enjoy. We get to enjoy what we've just
that you
love.
love.
Why not? I mean, like you were sharing grounding with me, and I loved it, and it's something we were going to also, we're going to also just share with people, because there's so many different aspects of this world we were given to nurture, even to tell, to help it come alive even more by sitting on the grass. That's amazing. And that I love. And so you're going to be doing painting, the sounds that you make yourselves, which comes out of you, and I believe is unique for what your purpose is, the meditations, the levitations, and what else? You wanted to add another one, or was it a lot already?
Another one?
Yeah.
That's a lot already, yeah?
Yes.
That's a lot. That's really a lot, because it keeps me very busy, all the things that I want to do with you guys. But yeah, so I want to share a short where Ronelle and me started realizing that everything is alive and God is in everything. He says He fills everything everywhere with Himself. I never had house plants because I forgot to water them. And I wasn't that faithful of watering my garden as well. And when God showed us one morning in one of those enraptured meetings, our 3:00 meetings where we prayed, He showed us how alive frequencies, live plants, and we knew it, but it wasn't like a revelation, because we have heard about that rice experience and the plant experiences that they do, and they speak to it with sounds and words, but it wasn't a revelation, and suddenly everything becomes a revelation. Now we can't wait to go water our plants quickly and just sit outside and just feel it and experience it, and it's like it's really coming alive. So what this all is about is with what Ronelle and Ashley is doing, and I believe many others of us, we all have wonderful puzzle pieces that's just going to fit in perfectly with all of us, and it's going to bring such richness to the kingdom of God. So it's just to get ourselves in that place of awareness, that consciousness that God is everywhere and He's in you, and He's filling, and He's just so alive. In the now, you're going to have such wonderful experiences, and that's where we want to take you.
Absolutely. Outside of time, outside of body, outside of external environment
Even
to
in
understand that we live
space.
in the full of all possibilities. And yesterday, Ashley and I were actually making a video and speaking about, you know, going back in time. Like, it's not time, because I think Aaron McKenzie also mentioned it, one of Paula's posts, about religion isn't time. So I'm starting to think more and more we actually created time. We were never meant to be locked in time. Time was meant to serve us as just a, I don't know, as a kind of format, but it's never was supposed to be so big. But I know that is also part of what we are really starting to live out. But like you said, everybody adds to this whole picture. And so with Quantum Academy, we are going to offer, we are doing courses, foundational courses, and all regarding quantum, and to get you really to understand what wealth, health, and relationships from a different perspective, from a different realm is, like basically the realm you're supposed to live in, and also helping businesses to succeed and prosper in anything, doesn't matter. And we're teaching that it's not just strategies anymore and marketing, it's about your people understanding who they are from this aspect. And you then are going to be one of the first people to come and bring your course, this meditation art. Yeah, as soon as we set up our platform, which is very soon, guys. I know a lot of you have been asking me. And then we're going to offer, I think Madelein and Mike Popovich is another one that's going to bring a course onto our platform, because we would love to bring where we are not the experts. You were called, Madelein, in a unique way to do this. Like Mike is called in a unique way to do what he is doing. And we are not taking that place. We are doing what we meant to do. So I'm really excited. So if people would like to be coached by you, needing help, where could they go and find you? Your email address, or we'll just put it on the video ad to.
Okay, for now, I've only started a Facebook page, and I called it Awakened One. It's not really going very actively. I'm still thinking of starting a weekly, at least, like Ronelle, do some just small tidbits or something, but it's there. So it's got a message thingy, so you can inbox me there if you want to find me. Awakened One, because God gave us that name. We were first called to oneness, and we prayed for 3 years, and it's now all over the world happening. We're not taking the honor. There was many of us that prayed for this. There is many people all over the world that prayed for this, and we see it. So God released us now to be more awake for now and what's happening now. So I'm truly honored to be part of this platform, just in a small way. Doesn't matter how, even if I'm in the background, it's a huge thing. I just honor God this morning for giving Ronelle this wonderful blueprint. It's just the amazingest thing ever, because she and Ashley together, they are going to start a platform that's going to change the world, and it's amazing. So Ronelle, I'm excited about you. I'm excited about what God's doing. You've grown so much. You have so much to give. It's just beautiful to see how you evolve. And I'm using that word on purpose, because that's what people not like to hear, that's religious, but you are evolving into your Christ-like identity. And it's beautiful to see it and to be part of it and to be just there with you, seeing you coming to that place. Wow.
Thank you.
I'm just loving this. Wow.
Yeah, it's a journey together. Hey, I can say the same about you, because you've walked this out more than anybody. You have walked this out with me, and you know every integrity. You know the challenges. You know the victories. You know every single step, and this is why it's so exciting. And both, although we bring you forward from a different, unique place that was given to us. Our hearts for you listeners, is that you may prosper, and that you may have good health, and that you may have all that you desire. And our victory is when you get this. And that is why we are stepping into these places of now releasing all that was what we have been walking out as well. So Madelein, I thank you so much. Hey,
before you go, that scripture that says, where Jesus says, the same works I do, you will do also, and even greater, right? And then the Father says, this is the works that I want you to do, is to believe in the one I have sent. And that one is now in us. and we can do everything that he does. And he does nothing what he doesn't see the Father do. So we have this wonderful person inside of us, this entity, this divinity, this wow energy inside of us that's just going to explode out of us. And the whole world is filled with his glory. And we are all part of that. And you are part of that. If you're listening to this and you want to be used powerfully by God, you want to let people be drawn to your light because Christ is the light in you. If you want that more than anything, you want to be used by God, you don't have to have qualifications. You don't have to study for 4 years. You don't have to do any of those things. God will teach you himself, and maybe he is already doing it and is connecting you to these people. So come on, jump in, be part of this. Let's fill the whole world with his love and his glory. Oh, exciting stuff.
Because I'm just quickly before we go, I'm just reminded from you saying that. I mean, if you said a little, to revert back to the kid, if you said a little girl and you play and you're building castles and you imagining all these things, you never question that it isn't real for yourself. So to go back to what Madelein just said and just believe that you are like that and just accept it and just, yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, what if I believe it and it doesn't happen? I think it's just so much thinking, and our thinking, our mind. I mean, that's a whole different video. But I don't want to divert from just giving you the platform, just sharing what you shared today. I thank you so much because I believe a lot of people will contact you, and I think you have lots to offer, Madelein, and there's such a beautiful way that you can help a lot of people, and they're going to benefit so much from you being on this earthly dimension. It is just amazing. Goodbye, donkey. Where?
Dankie hoor.
Okay,
From
guys.
South Africa, very cold South Africa.
And goodbye from a...
Bless you, listeners. You are awesome, supernatural beings.
Absolutely. So thank you all for watching. Until next time. Goodbye.